was going to be fun because I've known these guys for so long. I didn't know one of them was going to hand me an application to Taco Bell. Apparently, I told him I'd work with him. And then another one gave me a yellow rope and said, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that either, but I appreciate you guys. And I might use that application after this speech. So, one of the first people I ran into talking about this was Jennifer Wilson. She was at the school board meeting, and I was trying to come up with an idea for the speech. And I don't know if you guys know this. I mean, I'm still blown away by it, but you can jump on your phone and go to ChatGPT. I'm kind of talking to the adults right now. I'll talk to you kids. I know you guys use it all the time. But I just typed in graduation speech, Lincoln Wolves, class of 2025, and I'll read it. Good evening, faculty, family, friends, and most importantly, the graduating class of 2025, the proud Lincoln Wolves. This is where it lost me a little bit. Today is not just a ceremony, it's a celebration of all your late night studying. What? What? So like it kind of gave me the idea that you could use AI, and there's a difference between knowledge and wisdom. Like AI probably knows how to twist up some words and write a speech. Clearly it did, and I could use it and roll with that, but it doesn't really have the wisdom that comes along with spending time with you guys and growing up with you. And I did grow up with you in the very sense of the word. But the difference between knowledge and wisdom is pretty simple, and you'll go through these moments in life. I don't need someone to write a speech about a group of kids that I've spent this much time with. I'd like to get up here and talk and maybe share some of that wisdom with the rest of these people. Jennifer told me when I ran into her, I said, I'm going to get up there and represent that class as the best. And she said, oh, you always do that. You always get up there and talk about how that's the best class. And I thought about that probably longer than I should have, and thought she was right. I did, and I try to always get up here, and I think it's our responsibility. It takes a lot of people to get you guys to where you're at, and I take it pretty serious with a source of pride to stand up here and represent that and represent every class that I've ever had the honor to stand on this stage with as an educator. But tonight, as a parent, I'm going to be a little biased about this particular group. If you guys are good, and y'all earmuff it for a minute, all right? Be cool with that. This is the greatest graduating class of Lincoln High School history, and it's not even close. Period. Yeah. You should cheer if you're here to watch one of them. Now's when you should get rowdy and make noise. Like I said, as an adult and as a parent, I showed up to represent this group. See, I could have used AI and came up here and done a real generic one, but that doesn't represent the wisdom I have from spending time with you guys. See, knowledge, I'll give you a real quick example of that. Knowledge is knowing that a tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is not putting it in fruit salad. See the difference? See how I got from A to B right there? Right? Brown's laughing at me, right? So years ago, I came here and I met Jennifer Wilson, one of the first people I ever worked across from. So when she said that, I thought, well, I'll just go off the cusp a little bit. We won't ask ChatGPT to write a speech for us. One of the other people I met right off the bat was Jarita and Charlie Morton. I don't think you can talk about Lincoln High School or Lincoln School District without referencing them. Jarita Morton was my mentor teacher, and I was out on the playground with her one day, and a fight broke out, a couple of 8th graders. So I ran over there to break it up, score points, decide who had won. As I got there, they were lying, telling me who started it first, and there was already alliances, and I turned around and started walking them back towards the building, and I noticed that Jarita hadn't really made it too far. She was still about 2 feet from where she was when I took off running. And she motioned for me to come over there like I'd done something wrong, and I immediately started walking towards her because I felt like I had. And she said, and Jarita had this way of kind of putting her hand on your shoulder and bringing you down a notch, and said, don't ever run across there like that again. Let them get that out of the way before you get over there and break that up. With as much confidence as I've ever been spoke to in my life. I've never ran towards a fight again. I'm the last one to get there. I don't care who won or what happened. Let them figure it out. She told me about this granddaughter that was going to be in my kid's class, and I thought, well, that's going to be good, because she spoke of the granddaughter with such confidence. I was like, well, that's exactly what I want. I want my son and all these kids to be surrounded by confidence. That's why I say they're the greatest class that has ever come out of Lincoln High School, because one time I was asked, what could you give every single student if you could give them one thing? And that would be, without a doubt, confidence, to believe in yourselves. I don't know if you spend a lot of time around these kids, but there's one thing they have together: they believe in themselves. Individually, sometimes to a fault, sometimes it's annoying, but they absolutely believe in themselves. I met, Dax Morton was one of the other people I met. He was on the school board. And then I kind of started to understand where some of this confidence was coming from. Because if you know Dax, you know he's a very confident individual, and he invested in his daughter, and this confidence seems to be able to build other people's confidence. That's him right there. He looks the exact same age as when I met him, which is, I do not. So it's a little alarming, but with confidence, I can say that to him, and you can compliment. Tonight I gave you guys a pen. Listen to me real quick. Now I'm talking to y'all. I gave you a pen that says write your own story, class of 2025. Because people in these stands and staring at you right now, they've already had a chance to write their story. And usually what people do when they lose that confidence is they start trying to chip away at other people's. That's what you guys have as the identifying factor of your class. And I'm going to plead with you to not let them have a single page in your book. You write your own story. Anybody out there that's saying, yeah, wait on the real world. Yeah, now it's the real world. They're not you. They wrote their story, and it sounds like it's pretty bitter and scary. You can write a story that has nothing to do with the way they see it. And that's what you should do. That's the way I see you guys. That's the way I will always see you guys and represent the best class that's ever come out of here. Let me give you some examples of some of this confidence that I've got to witness throughout the years. We all just watched Braden Brown walk up there with a faulty mic and a saxophone and blow that national anthem out of the water. That was pretty impressive. Yeah. Again, I don't know what we got to do to get people to cheer. I'm talking to you guys. They're done. They're cashed out. We're going to talk to you guys. Braden Brown, I'd bring that saxophone everywhere I went, son. I'd play it in every interview I go to. If everybody in the room's not looking around for a flag and putting their hand on the heart, get out of there. You don't want to work there, bro. They don't deserve you. Caden Brown. Son, you walk around with that faith stamped on you, and everywhere you go, you talk about it, and you carry it with a level of confidence that I got to share a semester with you. You are a confident young man, and you should always be that way because you have your faith right there with you, just like you stood up here and delivered that in the beginning. Cassidy Cusick. You are a cheerleader at heart, kid, and I know wherever you end up, you're going to be just as bright-eyed as you are right now. You got up here and delivered a speech with confidence because that's who you are. Ruger Remington. Dude, you're named after two of the greatest gun manufacturers on the planet. You should always be confident. Ruger walked up to me like 2 weeks ago and said, Coach, you know they told me when I was little I was going to be 6'2". Ruger's not 6'2". I don't know how tall he is. He ain't 6'2". I said, oh, really? Well, maybe you'll get a growth spurt. Who knows? He said, I doubt it. But at least I'm an all-state goalie, and turned around and walked off. Yeah. I said, no, I agree with that. Robbie Kearney, I also spent time with him every morning. Robbie's also a heck of a soccer player. He can take an 8-second play and turn it into a 20-minute story. He would come in every morning in great detail about what had happened, and I enjoyed listening to him. He did it with great confidence. Me and Brown and Kearney studied Atomic Habits, and we gave ourselves goals. One of Robbie's goals was to show up on time. He never did, but he always walked in smiling with great confidence. He's got more car battery problems than anybody in here put together. Jasmine Martinez was also in that group, and she only showed up about a quarter of the time, and she is confident enough to make me feel like that was my fault, so I can appreciate that. Dakota Williams, Lucas Wilson, Caden Brown, Dominic, will y'all stand up real quick? Stand up, take your hats off. Now, I'm not saying this because of my current condition, but I'm saying y'all's hair is fantastic, and you should always rock that. Colt Cushing, Trey, Caden, Kate Erickson. I got to hang out with all these guys, and I don't have to say too much about them, but I promise you if you're around them, there's not much that they think they can't do. So now is not the time to start listening to other people tell you about how scary the world's going to be. Boys, you're not scared of anything else. Why would you let them terrify you now? Keep being exactly who you are. Lena Scogans and the Dunham kids, we were lucky to have them. You guys should tumble everywhere you go. If I could backflip like you and your brother, I'd do it in Walmart. Every single chance I got. And they were homeschooled for a while there. Lena was homeschooled. And every time they showed up on our campus, because of their energy, they made us feel like we were more at home, which is completely different than the homeschool kids I went to school with, who made us feel awkward and uncomfortable. So homeschool's doing a lot of good things. You guys are all representative of that. Way to go. Keep it up. But I think that comes from having the exact same kind of confident foundation that we referenced at the beginning of this. Confidence will continue to build more people to be confident. Lee Spinks. Where you at, Lee? Lee Spinks. Stand up, Lee. Lee's a big guy. I know his dad. His dad's, yeah, great family. Lee Spinks showed up on senior skip day and walked in confidently. And when we said, "What are you doing, Lee? It's senior skip day," that big joker of a man said, "Well, my mom didn't tell me," and walked on down the hall. He also competed with me in a big butt contest. We were the only two, and I happened to edge him out barely. We didn't really measure it, but he said I won, and he gave me this as my trophy. For a big butt contest, this is my 4-inch trophy that says I won. He handed it to me confidently. I'll try to keep it, not lose it in the laundry. It's a little trophy. Thank you, Lee. Kel Jones. Where you at, KJ? Son, you should triple jump your whole life. Everywhere you go. Nobody messes with the triple champ. 3 times in a row. Let's go ahead and let me say it again. 3 times in a row, state triple jump champion, Mr. Kel Jones. Make some noise. Brinkley Morton. Man, if I was you, I'd tattoo a softball on my hand. Now, don't do that. I have terrible tattoo ideas and impulse control. But it's a good metaphor for when you get down there and you're in Mississippi. If you ever question yourself and they start to try to dress you up like a bulldog, remember you were always a wolf and you were raised by them. You'll be just fine. Bryson Karber, keep arguing like you do with me your whole life, son. That's a confident trait, and it can't stand you when you do it. But right now, I'm very proud that you're my kid. Last week, I showed up, and there was a bunch of forks in that part of the yard right over there. I thought that was strange, but I didn't really think too much about it. Just a bunch of forks in the yard, whatever. They were stuck in the yard. And one of our resource officers was meeting me at the door, and he said, "Man, Coach, I've never seen a school prank like this." In my mind, I flashed, "What school prank are you talking about? No one approved a school prank." So I came in the building, and there were chairs and tables stacked 30 foot high, and water balloons and body parts drawn on those water balloons and cups of water, and it was disturbing how much had gone on. And at first, I was pretty mad. And it took my good friend, Melanie Prince, to kind of bring me down a notch and say, "Hey, man, relax. Like, they did that because they love this place and they love you." And I know now that I wasn't mad because you guys pulled that off. I was mad because I probably should have known you were going to. Because every single year, except this group, I meet the seniors in the door and I kind of let them go and do what they're going to do. I told my whole staff I wasn't going to let you guys destroy the building. Man, you really made me look like I'm out of control. And I should have known. They drove the lift that's in that building and hung things 30 feet high. And when I questioned them on it, they said, "We're OSHA certified." This was the last note they left us. They wrote their story all year long, and ever since I've been around, they've been writing stories. I'm going to ask all of you tonight to not stop doing that. Joe, show them the sign-off letter that they left all of us, please. That says, "Kiss our class with different letters of different color ASS. Goodbye, 2025. Leave it there, Joe. Everybody needs to see what we put up with. They used the lift to hang that up. I had to drive the lift to take it down. Couldn't believe it. Guys, I wasn't mad at you. I was mad at myself. I missed an opportunity to hang out with you guys one more time and to be around that level of confidence. That building will never be the same, ever, with me in it, because you're not there. That's how I feel, and as a parent, I can say that tonight. I could have used ChatGPT, and there's plenty of people up there right now that are probably criticizing the fact that that says kiss our class goodbye, and I don't know if they should put that up. And they can criticize, that's fine, because I'm representing you tonight, and that confidence, I'm telling you to not let anybody chip away. They can say whatever they want, because I wrote this speech for you, and you inspired it. So now join me on your feet and let's finish this thing. Lincoln High School, class of 2025, it is my greatest honor to say that you have checked all the boxes, fulfilled all obligations, and you are now officially Lincoln High School graduates. Let them fly. Parents, grandparents, you guys are welcome to come down on the field, take pictures. Thank you guys. Be careful.